welcome to our 29th Monday without Meuser, except for the Cardboard Dan. Give yourselves a round of applause for your persistence and dedication to preserving democracy in our United States of America. My name is Michael Schroeder. I'm co-organizer with Laura Quick here of Mondays Without Meuser, except for the Cardboard Dan. Let me begin by welcoming you and reminding everyone that this is a peaceful protest in exercise of our First Amendment rights. That we have safety marshals in the event of antagonistic counter-protesters try to challenge us. So Lou Felly over here, Lou's a safety marshal. Rick here is a safety marshal. Their job is to de-escalate. James is a safety marshal. So we do not actively engage with any counter-protesters, unless you want to go off to the side and actually have a genuine conversation, in normal tones. So again, welcome to our 29th peaceful protest. Let's begin, as we have in the past, by saying the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. I'd also like to begin in our characteristic way, our ritual way, by reading this poem, and I spoke up, and your job at the right moment is to say in unison, and I spoke up, until the very end when you say, and we spoke up. First, they came for the immigrants and refugees.
I spoke up.
Because immigrants and refugees are our neighbors. Then they came for transgender people.
I spoke up.
Because transgender people are our neighbors. Then they came for the poor and the vulnerable.
I spoke up.
Because the poor and the vulnerable are our neighbors. Then they came for the aid workers, the federal workers, and the civil servants.
I spoke up.
Because they, too, are our neighbors. Then they came for the students, the teachers, and the universities.
I spoke up.
Because they, too, are our neighbors. Then they came for us.
And we spoke up.
Because we are here together, and we are called to love all our neighbors, no exceptions. Thank you. Give yourselves a round of applause. So, if you did not receive an email yesterday, that means you are effectively not on our email list. I invite you to see Karen here and be added to our email list. There's almost 300 people who are on this list so far. These are people who have showed up at least one of our events and signed the list.
The freedom of speech as well,
Also, a reminder that we have a special Saturday edition of Mondays Without Meuser, piggybacking on the National Indivisible, on Saturday, October 18th, from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. in Veterans Park, right down the block. So Saturday, October 18th. So far this morning, I checked the list, 57 people have already signed up. I understand there's one here in Lebanon, there's another in Harrisburg, and another in Lancaster. There will probably also be, we are trying to coordinate with the Hershey Indivisible team to coordinate our timing. They haven't yet announced the time of their protest, but it will probably be 3:30 or 4 o'clock in Hershey. So it'll be time to end our protest at 1 p.m. in Veterans Park, to take a little bit of a break, head out to Hershey, and join the folks with the Hershey Indivisible team for a couple hours. Also, another announcement, postcard writing for the retention of judges and the upcoming November elections for local officials. We encourage everyone to vote in this election, and especially to vote to retain the judges. There's postcard writing events being organized by Hershey Indivisible. Tomorrow, the 23rd at Hershey Public Library from 1:30 to 4:30. Then this Saturday, the 27th, from 10:30 a.m. to 12:30 in the afternoon, also at the Hershey Public Library. And then Sunday, the 28th, the next day, from 2 to 5 p.m. in the afternoon after church services at Salem United Church of Christ in Campbelltown. 2 to, what did I say?
After church services, which is...
Well, okay, 2 to 5 p.m. It's after the church services.
That's a drop-in.
That's drop-in. Okay. So postcard writing. Also, the T-shirts. We see many of you are wearing your Resist the MAGA Regime T-shirts. The T-shirts are in. If you paid for it, or if you just ordered one and didn't pay yet, I love the box here. We are also ordering a second batch. So if you want to get a T-shirt and you didn't order one the first time, again, see Karen. We have a list of maybe about 10 people. We need to get up to, I think, 24 before we're able to order another batch and get the low price. Okay, so let me just say a few words again by way of introduction. Let me say a few words about the assassination of Charlie Kirk. So I'm a historian. So I'm going to try to put Charlie Kirk's assassination in historical context by telling a story that builds on and comes out of the same New York Times op-ed I sent around yesterday from M. Gesson. On November 7th, 1938, in Paris, France, a Polish, German, Jewish teenager named Herschel Grispan assassinated the Nazi German diplomat Ernst von Roth. Grispan's family had been rejected entry into both Germany and Poland and was stuck in the borderland hell between those two countries, along with 12,000 other Jews. Staying with an uncle in Paris, Grispan could not help them, so in an act of desperation and despair, he decided to kill someone that he saw as a representative of the force that was immiserating his loved ones. Grispan's action, his assassination on November 7th, 1938, of this Nazi in Paris, served as a pretext for Kristallnacht, the night of broken glass, on November 9th and 10th, a couple days later, a 2-day state-sponsored pogrom, or reign of terror, in Nazi Germany. In those 2 days, Nazi authorities rounded up nearly 30,000 Jews, marking the first time that the regime conducted mass arrests and put people in concentration camps because of who they were and not what they had ostensibly done. So many historians consider Kristallnacht the start of the Holocaust. So we see the pattern here, that authoritarians use violence as a pretext to clamp down on free speech and people's rights. It's a long-standing pattern in world history, and we're seeing this play out right here in the United States of America. I'm going to pause here while the ambulance goes by. Seeing it across the map. Charlie Kirk is being lionized and lauded and praised as a hero by the Trump-MAGA regime and the MAGA sphere. He's a national hero in their view. We saw this, that's right. President Trump awarded him the nation's highest civilian honor, the Presidential Medal of Freedom. That's right. Charlie Kirk is not a national hero. He, among other things, he was a family man. He had some good qualities, I'm sure. I never met him. But he also expressed views that are diametrically opposed to what we stand for here. He was a racist, a sexist. He was homophobic. He was transphobic. A self-proclaimed champion of free speech. He set up a company and a website specifically designed to intimidate professors because of their speech. A so-called champion of civic dialogue, his goal in public debates with college students wasn't to learn, it wasn't to discover the truth, it wasn't to define consensus. Instead, his goal was to win, to defeat his enemies, to defeat his opponents. That's not good faith debate. I've learned to make a distinction between people who engage in argument in good faith and people who engage in dialogue and argument in bad faith. And bad faith means you already know what you think and you're not going to change your mind. You're not there to learn. You're not there to reach consensus. You're there to dominate and to win. So Charlie Kirk was the kind of arguer who engaged in bad faith arguments. And we're going to wait here for the... So in my view, and I suspect many of you share this view, Charlie Kirk, to my mind, leaves behind a toxic legacy of division and rancor that stoked fear and made us angrier at each other. A toxic legacy. Now, none of that legitimates or justifies his assassination. That's needless to say. And we in Mondays with Meuser condemn his assassination, as we condemn and reject all forms of violence. And now the Trump-MAGA regime is using his assassination as a pretext for a wide-ranging assault on their political foes. The language coming out of this regime is absolutely horrific. Maybe the most horrific. Listen to Stephen Miller. Ooh, what do you think about Stephen Miller? He is horrible. Trump's deputy chief of staff, who 1 week ago today, last Monday, said on Charlie Kirk's podcast, and I quote, and this refers to you people and me, supposedly, it is a vast domestic terror movement. Speaking of left-wing political organizations. With God as my witness, says Stephen Miller, we are going to use every resource we have at the Department of Justice, Homeland Security, and throughout the government to identify, disrupt, dismantle, and destroy these networks and make America safe again for the American people. It will happen, and we will do it in Charlie's name, end quote. We totally reject this framing. This framing really ticks me off. It is infuriating that they are holding up Charlie Kirk as a hero when what he mainly is known for is sowing division and rancor and intensifying the divisions among and between Americans. So we totally reject this framing, even as we lament his assassination. In the same instant, we insist that he was a toxic influence on American society and American culture. So that's my take on what's happening today, using the assassination of Charlie Kirk as a pretext to clamp down on your freedoms and the freedoms of all Americans to speak and to resist this authoritarian regime. So that's my intro. Let me turn it over to co-organizer Laura Quick. Welcome, Laura.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everybody.